Texas, but it is headed that way. That tornado warning is out toward West Livingston. So I'm here with forecaster Savannah Hale, and she's driving radar. So Savannah, can we go ahead and zoom in on that real fast? This is, if we have that watch in place for all of the highlighted areas. We have this warning for this hatched area right now that goes until 2:30. That's about the next 8 minutes that we're tracking that. And it is heading pretty quickly up to the northeast, which would put it coming toward St. Augustine and Sabine counties. It's coming in at about maybe 50 miles per hour with that. Here, Savannah, I may have magic track enabled. That might make it a little bit easier to control, but that's coming in pretty quickly, and there's a chance that that cell may die out just a little bit as it gets into East Texas, but there is a chance that it could hold that tornado warning, in which case we'll go ahead and break into programming and make sure that everyone knows about that. But as that goes ahead and moves up to the northeast, it's going to go pretty quickly. So can we go ahead and put a storm track on that? It's moving up to the northeast at about 50-ish miles per hour. We're going to go ahead and tell you what that timeline would be. I think our last track put it coming into Barnes around 250, Chester a little bit closer to 3, Zavala around 330. So it is moving pretty quickly up to the northeast. There was a confirmed tornado spotted here by trained spotters. We saw that from the National Weather Service. I have my computer right here. That way we are making sure that we get you the most up-to-date information. That was a confirmed tornado in Cold Springs, Texas is where we saw that. And again, this is not in our area just yet, but it is headed that way. So let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit and see what we're tracking here in our area. Again, that tornado watch is out to the south, but up to the north, we're tracking lots of showers and thunderstorms up here toward Gilmer. We're tracking a couple of spotty showers and out toward Lanesville as well. Nacogdoches getting a pretty good dousing of rain here. We're seeing it looks like some hail. So if we want to go ahead and click on that to see what we're seeing there. It's moving at about 25 miles per hour. Some small hail, about a third of an inch there. Nothing too crazy. At least we're seeing 0 on that tornado impact, which is what we want to see, but we are seeing an 8 on our wind impact. This is a scale out of 10. So we're tracking some gusty winds today. That is the main threat that we're seeing. And across all of East Texas right now, that's the big concern. We are under a wind advisory that goes all the way through tomorrow afternoon. But let's go ahead and zoom in on the cell closer here towards center. We're seeing lots of lightning and spotty showers in this area. Right now, it doesn't look like anything severe, just strong winds, hail, and lots of lightning. This is going to continue to track up to the northeast and get closer to Louisiana here pretty soon. But let's go ahead and go up to the north and see what storms are heading up toward areas north of I-20. We're kind of starting to see a little bit of a lull in some of our storms, but we're seeing a couple up to the north if we want to zoom up there. Overall, though, the bulk of the storms, the severe storms, are kind of out to the south. So, all right, we're seeing a couple of pockets of rain toward Linden, toward Jefferson, a couple headed out toward Linden, and that's again going to track up to the northeast. Heavy pockets of rain, lots of lightning associated with that. We're going to go and see a couple out to the south toward Jacksonville. A lot of lightning out there. If we want to go out to the south just a little bit, we can get a zoomed in look at that. We're not seeing anything, again, too severe here. Lots of lightning with it, nothing tornadic at the moment. That's just a lot of lightning, heavy wind gusts. So if you're outside, you want to get inside because it's really going to be kind of a gross day as we get through the rest of the evening. Out toward Alto, Wells, again, lots of strong thunderstorms. You can see in the red there, just a lot of heavy rain and some intense thunderstorms there. Lots of lightning. So if you're outside, you want to come inside. Otherwise, you could risk getting thrown by lightning. Hey, Savannah, is there anything going on in the chat that you've noticed?
I haven't noticed anything right now. We did have that confirmed tornado by that spotter. Otherwise, right now, not too bad. We've got, one, like Sarah was saying, some lightning down in Nacogdoches. We've got that heavier storm making its way up by Appleby towards Stockman. Otherwise, that's our main threat right now, right here in East Texas. We do have that confirmed tornado from that spotter once again that's down in deeper East Texas, I'll take a look at that right now. So far, that's still in Polk and San Jacinto County. We have that tornado warning that's going until 2:30. Hasn't expired just yet. We've got about 4 more minutes before we see if the National Weather Service is going to extend that. That black tag on that means that it's a hatched, that's a hatched tag. That means that's a tornado possible tag. So what that is that, like we were saying, it's very possible there's a tornado there, and that has been confirmed in that area. So that's what we're watching, because if that does continue to get extended, that'll move into our deep East Texas county. So that's what we're watching right now. I'll go ahead and put another track on that and zoom out a little bit. If we take a look at that storm, if I put a track right on the edge of that, it's moving about 50 miles per hour. That puts it in Livingston at about 228, Martson at 232, Seven Oaks 240, Barnes at 250, Chester at 257, Dolan at 314, and Huntington at 320. Once again, this storm will continue to move to the northeast, but what we're watching is if the National Weather Service extends this tornado warning, and if so, that's what we'll watch as it continues to move into our area. And we will continue to break into programming as well and not just go on to streaming. So that's our main threat right here in East Texas. Like Sarah Blue was saying, we do have some storms over East Texas that have been moving throughout the morning and into the afternoon now. You can see the stronger cell in Alto, Kennard, Polk, I should say, Nacogdoches, over towards center as well. We've got a Titan indicator. We can zoom in on it here and see how that's looking. Still looks like hail, relatively small, moving at 35 miles per hour though, and hail definitely probable at 80%. Wind impact, thankfully, it's no tornado impact, but wind impact is pretty high right now. So like Sarah was saying earlier, wind impact is out of a 10. Right now you can see it's in at 8.3, so pretty hefty. We do have gusty winds. That's our main threat through some of these storms, as well as hail, which we were seeing earlier today as well. So Sarah, do you see anything yet on the National Weather Service?
Yes, I've been checking our National Weather Service chat, and the National Weather Service for out in Houston, which is what we're tracking with this cell down to the south where we're tracking that tornado warning. They said they're gonna, and there it is, they're gonna issue another tornado warning as it continues to move. It looks like that rotation has died out, again, according to the National Weather Service, but because it is capable of still producing that cyclone and that tornado, they're going to continue that tornado warning all the way through 2:45 for areas toward Livingston, and I have it right here, Livingston State Park and toward Livingston, Lake Livingston, I should say, and that's going to continue up. With this, we're also tracking some pretty significant hail. That's coming in at about 3/4 of an inch. So again, that is heading up to our area pretty quickly. If it gets to areas in East Texas, that would be toward deep East Texas, you want to make sure that you are prepared just in case we do see that come in. Make sure that you have 2 ways of receiving that weather information. That way you are prepared, know what your tornado safety plan is in case it gets into deep East Texas, and check on your loved ones, make sure that they are following that tornado or that warning as well if it does get into deep East Texas. All right, let's go ahead and if we can go back out, let's see, that warning is still there. Again, that's not in East Texas. That's just for a little bit deeper. We're tracking a tornado watch for the areas that are highlighted in this solid red. That's going to go all the way through 9 p.m. tonight for these highlighted areas. And this hatched area is where we're tracking that tornado warning. We can go ahead and see how quickly this is moving based off of our radar and our radar Titan indicator. We're getting some hail out of that, and that is going to move up to the northeast pretty quickly at about 45 miles per hour. It has slowed down a little bit. Previously, it was moving close to 50 miles per hour. And it looks like we're seeing that tornado impact at 0, which is good. It was a little bit higher earlier. So hopefully it continues to die out as it moves up to the northeast. However, we are still gonna keep track of it just in case it does get into us here in East Texas. So if that's moving up to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour, if we can put a storm track on it, we'll see when it would get here. So it would get close to Ollie in about 8 minutes, Barnes close to 1250, Dolan close to 315. And then once we get to Zavala, that would be closer to maybe 320. And again, that is continuing up to the northeast. However, it looks like it's starting to die out now. That was our latest update from the National Weather Service chat. There we go. This tornado warning again is for the hatched areas, but it is moving up to the north. Right now here in deep East Texas, we aren't seeing that tornado. We're just seeing lots of strong thunderstorms, some gusty winds, lots of lightning associated with this. So really not a good day to be outside. We're seeing some hail out towards center. This one we're seeing some orange on it, so it's not quite as impactful as some of the other hailstones that we have seen, but still it looks pretty decently sized hail, about an inch and 1.2 inches for that diameter. So not great. Still though, we're seeing a 0 tornado impact, which is what we want to see. Lots of wind associated with that. A little bit more intense hail out here closer to Lufkin, between Crockett and Lufkin. Well, it looks like it's smaller hail, but a lot more wind associated with it. So again, you don't want to be outside. This one is again moving up to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So we're going to see that just continue to track up toward Nacogdoches, Henderson, and Center. All right, Savannah, have you seen anything updated on the National Weather Service chat?
Not yet, not other than what you've been saying so far. We do still look like we once again have that extended tornado warning that Sarah was talking about. Right now, main things, like she was saying, just the storms in East Texas specifically, not exactly that tornado warning that's moved into our area just yet, but we do have those cells that have stronger or larger hail, I should say. We'll take a look at those one more time. Looks like right now we've got a Titan indicator actually in Nacogdoches and towards Center that looks like they have a little bit of rotation. I'll click on that here. We can see what we've got going on. Tornado impact 2. So we've got a little bit of rotation we could possibly see. Precipitation also coming down. Let's look at the one in Center as well. Don't see anything on that one yet. But like I was saying, we did have some larger hail in the area. We saw just a second ago that storm near Alto, Kennard, moving towards Nacogdoches. That is also where we're seeing some larger hail. Over an inch is what we were seeing on our radar, our Titan indicators. That storm moving towards Center, it's a little bit less likely hail that Sarah was saying, maybe just getting close to maybe a quarter of an inch. Overall, though, you still want to stay safe. If you have any cars outside, any pets outside, make sure that you try to cover them up. It does look like overall these storms are continuing to move to the northeast. We're continuing to track those as well. Let me take a wider look so we can see what it looks like across East Texas otherwise. We've still got this cell that's moving from towards Emory, making its way towards Winsboro as well. So heavier rain in this. We don't see any Titan indicators on it indicating any thunderstorms at the moment. It does look like there's not even any lightning out there. There's a little bit of lightning towards Gilmer and Longview, moving towards Jefferson. Otherwise, a lot of lightning would indicate that there is some hail. So main places we're seeing some hail near Tenaha and Center once again, moving into Louisiana towards Logansport. So more lightning, like I said, means more hail possible. Once again, we're seeing some moving towards Nacogdoches. And then we've got some towards Alto and Kennard as well. So we do have some in East Texas, but mainly that main thing that we're watching is this tornado warning. Looks like there's actually a second tornado warning that has been issued that is running parallel now to that first tornado warning. Sarah, do you have anything up on that anybody has said on the National Weather Service?
Yeah, I'm tracking the National Weather Service chat right now. That's, again, we don't have a confirmed tornado on the ground. That's radar indicated rotation that we're tracking. But again, this is radar indicated rotation, and this is a cell capable of producing a tornado. The thing that we're tracking with this is that there could be flying debris, very dangerous conditions for areas down to the south that you want to take cover now. Again, this isn't quite making it into deep East Texas yet. Savannah, if you want to put a tracker on it, the National Weather Service said that it's moving at about 40 miles per hour up to the northeast. Again, so that's going to head up to us here in East Texas. We're not quite seeing that in our area just yet. Moscow, it should get there in the next several minutes. Corrigan up to around 3 p.m. By the time it gets to Bald Hill, around 3:30. And then if you head out toward Dolan, about 3:35, as that's going to head up to the northeast. Again, this is still out to the south. In East Texas, we currently do not have that tornado watch in effect. but this is heading pretty quickly into our area. So you want to make sure that you double check your tornado plan. Double check what you need to do. Always remember that if there is a tornado in your area, you want to take cover, go to the lowest level of the building, go to the most interior room, and make sure that there aren't any windows. That's the most important part, because if you're in a room with a window, that glass could shatter and that could be very, very dangerous. All right, it looks like we're seeing a little bit of rotation out here toward Nacogdoches. It doesn't look like it's too intense. We're seeing that green indicator. Green isn't quite as intense rotation as we've seen with areas out to the south where it's yellow. If you want to take a closer look at that, we're going to see what that is. There's probably lots of gusty winds associated with this. Again, we do not have a tornado warning in effect for our area here in East Texas, just to the south, and we're tracking that cell as it might move into our area. We're tracking lots of lightning as well, though, in deep East Texas, so you want to make sure that if you are outside, go inside right now. All right, we're tracking our maximum hail isn't quite as big as we've seen in other places, about 0.1 inches. We're tracking a very low tornado impact, but it's still not zero. So you want to make sure that you're staying weather aware. Make sure that you have 2 ways to receive that weather information. So that could be your phone, your weather radio, and some other type, but you just want to make sure that you have a way to receive the most up-to-date information. And
just updated. Maybe we lost that rotation in that first storm that you were just talking about. So that's a good thing.
That is definitely good. We're tracking another slight rotation up here. And as we look at the radar, I'm not really seeing anything that indicates a tornado here in East Texas. We're really just tracking lots of isolated severe thunderstorms. Lots of lightning as well. If you want to go out to the south, let's see how that tornado warning is doing. We're still tracking some rotation out toward West Livingston. This tornado warning that's running parallel to the original one. They're both set to expire today around 2:45. So we have a couple more minutes left on that. And we still have quite a bit left on this tornado warning. We're not quite seeing that tightened indicator over that direction, but we are tracking a little bit of rotation here. If you want to click on it, we can see what we're tracking. Again, that tornado warning is in effect. We have a confirmed tornado for this area toward Livingston, but the one slightly north, we're not seeing that confirmed tornado just yet. Lots of hail associated with this. Our tornado impact has dropped. It's only to about 2.5. Earlier, it was much higher, so that's a good sign. We're seeing that kind of start to die out a little bit. But again, that is moving up toward East Texas, so you want to make sure that you are up to date on that and making sure that you know where your safe place is and review your tornado plan. Hey, Savannah, have you seen anything on our National Weather Service chat?
Not at the moment. It does look like that storm that you were just talking about is actually continuing to slow down, so that is also good news. Looks like winds are dropping now, making its way to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So even the last time we checked it, it's starting to get slower and slower. I'll take a zoomed in look at that once again and highlight that for you if I can get it just here. It was, if you remember earlier, we started tracking it. It was about moving at about 50 miles per hour, now at about 39. Once again, moving to the northeast. Larger hail, but it does look like the tornado impact is also dropping. We saw it earlier at about a 2.5, now at a 2. So that is also good news. So what we're hoping is that this tornado warning will expire in the next couple of minutes. It does look like we have about 5 more minutes. We're going to continue to watch that with that tornado possible tag on it. It's likely that the National Weather Service could extend it. We're going to continue to also watch this one that's running parallel. That one doesn't expire until 3:15. In the same area, though, there's still no tornado or Titan indicator, I should say, on that storm. You can see, we can zoom in a little bit closer. Like Sarah was saying, not a whole lot to see here. No hook that could indicate maybe a tornado, but there's no tornado that has spotted in that area, right? You were saying, Sarah?
Exactly, Savannah. And the one where we're seeing the Titan indicator, that's that yellow arrow on your screen. That's where we have, in fact, seen a confirmed tornado, but we have not seen a confirmed tornado from our spotter network in the one near Unalaska and Stevens Creek and Point Blank. All right, I'm checking. We just got a special weather statement out for Washington, Texas, Colorado, Texas, Austin, Texas, and Waller, Texas. So that doesn't look like it's in our area. That's just for some strong to severe winds. Again, we're not tracking a tornado there, but we're tracking a tornado watch for the areas that are highlighted. So that doesn't include our area here in East Texas, but we are tracking that tornado warning that might bring a tornadic storm. Oh, looks like our Titan indicator just changed from yellow to red, so it may be strengthening back up. Savannah, if you can click on that when you have a chance. Again, this is moving up to the northeast, so it could bring a possibly tornadic cell into areas of deep East Texas. We want to make sure that you're okay or that you are prepared. Right now we're just on streaming, but we may have to break into programming if this does in fact go into East Texas. I'm sorry, I missed it. I didn't get a chance to see what we were seeing up there. But again, that is moving pretty quickly up to the northeast. We just saw it jump from yellow to red. Red means that it's a little bit more impactful. Our tornado impact right now is about a 1.9. We're seeing some pretty significant hail with this cell. Lots of lightning, pretty gusty winds. Again, this is on a scale out of 10, so we're seeing an 8.8 for that wind impact. It's not great to be outside. This is going to continue to move up to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. If we can go ahead and put a storm track on that to see when it would get to us here in East Texas. It looks like depending on the angle of this, it might just kind of come through and clip us here in East Texas, and hopefully it'll die out by then. All right, it looks like it'll get to Ollie around 146. Let's see right now, that's in the next 5 or 6 minutes or so. Out toward Chester around 3, Dolan around 3:20, and then it'll get to Zvala right around 3:25 or 3:30. Again, that's if it continues moving at the same path. We're going to see this continue to move up to the northeast, as well as this cell that we're tracking right here. Can we go ahead and put this radar in play real fast so we can see how quickly it looks like it's moving? Lots of lightning. Again, we're not necessarily seeing any tornadoes or tornadic impact in areas in East Texas or in deep East Texas, but this is on its way up to our area, so we want to make sure that you guys are weather aware. Here and in East Texas, if you want to go up to the north just a little bit, we're seeing lots of scattered thunderstorms and lots of wind, lots of lightning as well. The main thing that we're tracking here is gusty winds and some strong hail. We're seeing a little bit of rotation that's out to the east of center right now. That's our green radar indicator, or excuse me, our green Titan indicator. And again, that's only green, so we're not necessarily too worried about that, but let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what we're seeing. And that's going to continue to quickly trek out of our area closer to Louisiana in the next couple minutes here. Yeah, you can see it's moving close to 40 miles per hour, a very low tornado impact around 0.8 on a scale out of 10. We're tracking another line of storms right now that's just kind of out. It's stretching to Laneville, kind of out to the south there. All right, there we go, out toward Wells. This is going to move up toward Garrison, toward Dolson, Laneville. We're going to see that continue to move into our area. Lots of wind is going to come through, but we're not necessarily seeing anything tornadic, and we're not seeing that tornado hook with this cell right here. Oh, we're seeing a little bit of rotation there. Can we go ahead and click on that and see what that is? All right, our tornado impact, about a 1.5 on a scale of 10, so pretty low. It's moving at about 35 miles per hour up to the northeast. We're not seeing too much hail with this one, but just a little bit of rotation. Again, this is not a confirmed tornado, just that storm is starting to spin a little bit. So we're going to see that continue to trek up to the northeast. Let's go ahead and go and check on areas out to the south, kind of out toward Jasper, West Livingston. We're still seeing that red and orange tornado indicator out toward West Livingston. That's tracking up pretty quickly through Polk County and out toward Polk and San Jacinto County. We're tracking another tornado warning here. All right, we just clicked on our Titan indicator. It's moving at about 45 miles per hour. We're still seeing a pretty decent tornado impact with that. If we can go ahead and put our storm track on it and see when it will get to us here in East Texas, it doesn't look like it's going to come through most of East Texas. There's a chance that it could come and just kind of clip our areas through deeper East Texas there. So you want to make sure that you are staying weather aware. Be prepared to go to your safe place soon if this doesn't die out. All right, so it'll head out toward Dolan at around 3:05-ish, so that's in about 20 minutes. Out towards Zvala, maybe close to 310, 315-ish, and then out toward Pineland at around 340. That is, again, if it continues to move at the same rate that it currently is. It's going to continue to track up to the northeast, though. We're tracking, yeah, what's up?
Jump in for you for a second.
Yes, go for it.
It does look like that tornado warning, I'm not sure if you had said this just yet, but that tornado warning that Sarah was just tracking has been extended just slightly. So the National Weather Service has pushed it just a little bit. Now going until 3:15, make its way a little bit closer to deeper East Texas. So we're going to continue to watch this one as well. It still has that tornado possible tag on it also. This one closer to West Livingston, off to the west of West Livingston, does look like it's not potentially going to get extended, a little bit smaller. I think National Weather Service is definitely worried about this first tornado warning with that tornado possible tag on it. Remember, this is also the one that we had a confirmed spotter see a tornado on the ground in that one or saw some rotation. So this is that one that we're continuing to watch. It does look like right now our Titan indicators are not showing any rotation. That doesn't mean that there isn't any rotation, but that's just what our Titan indicators are showing. We're showing that some stronger updrafts, though, on this storm right here, so I'll go ahead and click this. Still large hail over an inch. It's once again moving still at about 50 miles per hour. We do have some severe hail in that, and thankfully that hail impact is not too high right now, just at about a 5. So the tornado impact looks to have died down once again. That's because our Titan indicator isn't showing any rotation. Like we said, that doesn't mean that there isn't any rotation. That's just how our radars are picking it up at the moment. And showing some strong updraft. Once again, that can produce some larger hail, which we were just seeing also. I'll go ahead and move this out a little bit more so we can see, once again, both of those tornadoes, or tornado warnings, I should say. Also looking like we've got some strong updrafts back here closer to Huntsville and New Waverly. Some stronger lightning, or some more populated lightning, I should say, in this area. That could also indicate a stronger storm. We'll look at this Titan indicator. Moving at about 30 miles per hour, probability of hail a little bit weaker than the storm in front of it, but it does look like we've got some strong wind gusts almost at a 10 in there. So that could be headed our way towards East Texas as well. So we're going to keep watching that, see if the National Weather Service says anything about that also. But right now we do have these two tornado warnings in the area. Once again, that first tornado warning has now been extended to 3:15 with that tornado possible tag on it. The one running parallel, still nothing on that just yet. Hopefully that one fizzles out. They both now expire at 3:15. Both in Polk and San Jacinto County, so we'll continue to watch those as well. Taking a look up to the north once again, it does look like we've got this storm in Nacogdoches, or making its way towards Nacogdoches, with some pretty strong lightning as well. We've got our Titan indicator that's looking like it's indicating some strong updrafts. This one looks to be moving pretty quick, 56 miles per hour. Definitely hailing as well, and strong winds. Wind impact is at a 10. So definitely some stronger winds in there. No tornado impact on that. No Titan indicator indicating any rotation. So that's good as well. But this line, like Sarah was saying just a second ago, is moving to the northeast as well. So this is something that if you're in Nacogdoches, Appleby area, that is going to be heading your way soon. Garrison, you'll be getting this line as well. Cushing, right on the back edge of this line at this point. Dotson, Timpson, y'all are all in the path of this line. That'll be heading your way pretty soon as well. Aiken also, and Woden. So all areas that are going to be getting this storm. Lufkin looks like you might get the tail end of that line. But once again, we've got these two tornado warnings in deeper East Texas that are moving their way up to the northeast as well. So Sarah, do you have anything, has anybody said anything on those in the past couple of minutes?
Yeah, we have an update on the tornado warning that's just a little bit to the west, closer to on Alaska. That's moving at about 45 miles per hour now up to the northeast. If you want to put a tornado track on that, then we can see kind of what it's coming into. Right now, we currently do not have a tornado confirmed with that. Oh, does it look like? It looks like we may have gotten a another tornado warning on there. All right, but out toward Corrigan, it should get there maybe in the next 10 minutes, Bald Hill. We have about maybe 20 to 30 minutes on that if it continues to move on the same track that it's going. Out toward Huntington, closer to 3:30 is when we're tracking that possibly moving in. And again, this is we don't have a confirmed tornado with this cell, but we have a tornado that we have been indicated on our radar. So no one has actually indicated it from our spotter network, meaning they haven't seen it with their own eyes. but we have seen it on our radar popping up. Again, that's moving up to the northeast pretty quickly. Lots of lightning is associated with this. Savannah, are we able to switch over to velocity?
Yes.
All right, there we go. All right, so we're tracking, is this with the down toward Houston? Is that station that we're tracking?
It looks like it, yes.
All right, perfect. All right, it doesn't look like we're seeing, oh, maybe right there is where we're going to see a little bit of rotation. It's kind of hard to tell with this red box that we have over it. There we go. All right, it doesn't look like we're seeing too much rotation toward Onalaska. We're not necessarily seeing too much rotation anywhere. We're seeing lots of green. What you want to see is green and red right next to each other, very, very close. That indicates rotation. Again, though, it is very hard to tell because this is pretty far away from our radar station, which means we don't necessarily get a good view of it. But right now, it looks like it is moving up to the northeast very quickly. We have a radar and Titan indicator there, which is not giving us any rotation, which is good. Just lots of hail associated with that if we want to go ahead. And yeah, lots of the hail, a pretty large hail there. It's moving at about 50 miles per hour up to the northeast. Our tornado impact has dropped out, so we're seeing a 0 on that, which is what we definitely want to see. So it looks like it's dying out a little bit, but it is going to continue to track up to the northeast. And there's a possibility that it could make it to our areas here in deeper East Texas. So we want to make sure that you are staying weather aware. And of course, we're going to stay with you on streaming until we know for sure what is going to happen to this storm. And if it were to break into our area, we would definitely break into programming to make sure that you are weather aware there. All right, again, it doesn't look like we're necessarily seeing any rotation. That's just going to continue to track up to the northeast. We're tracking a pretty big line of storms right now out toward Groveton. That's stretching up to the north toward Nacogdoches. Lots of wind associated with this. We have a wind advisory that's been extended all the way through tomorrow evening, and that's going to continue to track out to the east right now. So through deep East Texas, that's the main thing that we are currently tracking. Lots of lightning, maybe even some small hail with this, but lots of wind, that's the main thing. So you want to make sure that you are inside and try to avoid driving if you have the chance, and definitely avoid being out on the water because the wind could create some large waves and that could capsize a boat. Looks like we're seeing some hail out to the west of Nacogdoches, between Nacogdoches and Palestine. It's pretty small hail, but it's still hail. You want to be inside. This storm is moving decently quickly. It's moving at about 55 miles per hour. We're not seeing a tornado impact with this one, though. Lots of hail and definitely some gusty winds. That is at a 10 out of 10 for our wind impact. And that's going to continue to move out to the east over the next several hours. Let's go ahead and Savannah, have you seen any updates on our tornado warnings that we have that are just to our south?
Since that second tornado warning being extended, no, but once again, that one now going until 3:15. It's getting closer to East Texas, so we're going to continue to once again watch these two tornado warnings. This second one that has now been extended a little bit longer still doesn't have a tornado possible tag on it. So like Sarah was saying just a few minutes ago, nobody's confirmed a tornado in this. This is just what our radars are indicating. So this is a radar indicated tornado that's possible in this storm. We're not seeing a Titan indicator on our radar showing any rotation or any strong updrafts, but we're going to continue to watch that one as well. This storm, this first storm that we've been tracking, our first tornado warning that popped up earlier this afternoon, this is our one with our Titan indicator. So for the past couple of minutes, we've seen that this tornado or that Titan indicator hasn't had any rotation on it. It's just been a strong updraft, which is good. This means that this storm could be weakening slightly. I'll take a look at this one and we'll see how the hail's looking. Does still look like we're seeing hail up to an inch or more, and severe hail is probable at 50%. Wind impact is still very high though, but thankfully the tornado impact has gone down. Now once again, this is where a spotter said that they did see a confirmed tornado and did confirm it with their own eyes. So there is a tornado that was possible from this storm, and that's probably why the National Weather Service is continuing to watch this storm so closely and has that tornado possible tag on it, because this is the storm that we did see that tornado in earlier. But right now it does look like it's weakening. Thankfully, the past couple of minutes that Sarah and I have been watching this storm, that Titan indicator, and there it goes. It actually just disappeared right there as we're talking about it. That is another good sign. So as that tornado indicator goes away, that means that the storm could possibly be weakening. So in the next, it expires at 3:15, so the next 20 minutes we'll continue to watch that storm and see if that gets continued as well. If so, like we said, it will continue to move to the northeast. I'll put a tracker on that and see where that would be going. It did still look like it was moving pretty quickly, so I'll go ahead and put that on there for about 50 miles per hour once again. It's going to be moving to the northeast, so it get to Chester about 3 o'clock, Dolan just after 3:15, Brokeland at about 3:46, and Pineland at about 3:50. So that storm is continuing once again to move to the northeast, and it does look like that one will expire, that tornado warning, at 3:15 if the National Weather Service doesn't decide to extend it. So far we haven't seen any extensions from this one in the past couple of minutes. That second one that's been running parallel, though, that's the one that's getting closer and closer to, it looks like, Angelina County. So it does look like that's the one that we could see cross into East Texas the soonest, if it does decide, or if the National Weather Service does decide to extend that tornado warning. So if we take a closer look at that one, this is where our Titan indicator is also showing some stronger updrafts, is back here. So that usually means some larger hail. We'll take a look. It does look like hail is about 1 inch in size, so that would be probable for this tornado warning or severe thunderstorm warning at the least. This tornado warning does extend until 3:30, so we'll continue to watch this one for about another half hour. The wind impact is relatively high at about a 9, but it does look like the tornado impact is low. So once again, this is just radar indicated. This isn't anything that the National Weather Service is directly we're seeing. Just that spotter indicated storm is what we were seeing earlier, and that was from that first tornado warning that expires at 3:15 once again if they don't go ahead and extend it. So I'll actually zoom out on our radar now so you can see a wider look across East Texas and not just what is south of our area, although we want to keep our close eye on that as it continues to move to our area. It looks like up north towards Tyler, some of those storms near Emory and Sulphur Springs have fizzled out some. We were seeing heavier pockets of rain. Looks like we've got a storm with some updrafts near Sulphur Springs. It does look like maybe some very small hail. The storm is once again moving to the northeast at about 38 miles per hour. Wind impact very strong as well, but no tornado impact, so that is good. Definitely some heavy rain pockets in that storm. Looks like we've got some storms moving towards Jefferson as well. No Titan indicators there. No lightning looks indicated. Looks like towards Queen City and Linden we could have a little bit of lightning as well, but like I said earlier, not a lot of lightning actually indicates that there might not be a lot of hail either. So with some of these storms that we're not seeing a lot of lightning in, that's actually a good sign. So most of our storms are actually south of I-20 and south of Tyler as well. We've got a Titan indicator just on the back end of this storm that's moving through Nacogdoches now towards Alto. I'll take a look at this one. Looks like it is moving pretty quickly, about 56 miles per hour. Hail is small, it says, in this storm. Wind impact, very gusty winds, though. So make sure if you have any pets outside, you bring them in. Secure any outdoor decorations, any patio furniture, light patio furniture, pillows. I hope you brought those indoors. Those could blow around quite easily. It's also possible that we could have some downed limbs, some smaller limbs, and maybe a few power outages with these strong gusty winds as well. So make sure that you're just being safe on the roads as well. Gusty winds also impact some of your driving. So we do have this line of storms moving through Nacogdoches pretty soon. Going to be moving towards Center and San Augustine as well as Lovekin. Does look like we've still got these 2 tornado warnings. And it also looks like that storm I was talking about earlier back here towards Huntsville and New Waverly also has a newly issued, Sarah was probably going to say something about this in just a few minutes, a tornado, or a severe thunderstorm warning that looks like that will go for a little while as well. It's moving northeast at about 41 miles per hour. We definitely do have some hail in this storm. Not quite an inch, but maybe 3/4 of an inch as well. And
can I interrupt you real fast?
Yeah,
because we just got information from the National Weather Service about this cell, specifically about the size of the hail that's coming in. That's about penny-sized hail that's coming in. It's moving pretty quickly at about 59 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts with this. It's radar indicated, so not a tornado that we're seeing. It's just a very strong thunderstorm, and that's going to continue to track up to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. That's near Huntsville State Park, and again moving up to the northeast rather quickly. This again does not have a tornado with it, just lots of gusty winds, wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour with this severe thunderstorm warning, and that's going to track up to the northeast. Like Savannah was saying, the big deal here is that we could see lots of damage from the winds. There could be a couple downed tree limbs, which could hit power lines. You could experience a power outage, and that could rip a couple of shingles off of your roof. It could also impact your driving, so if you're out, your car might get blown around a little bit if you've ever been on a road and you have that crosswind going. So it's going to be very, very gusty as this continues to move up. If we want to go ahead and put our storm track on it, it's moving at about 45 miles per hour up to the northeast there. And again, we're not necessarily seeing a tornado with this. We're seeing lots of strong updrafts, lots of severe thunderstorm warnings, or a severe thunderstorm warning, lots of lightning, and lots of gusty winds. So that's going to move out toward Groveton. It should get there around 3:45. Phelps, it should get there just in the next several minutes or so. Point Blank about 3:30, and we're going to see that continue to move up to the northeast. It looks like we're going to see a little bit of rotation out here just south of Columnell. If we want to go ahead and take a look at that to see what we're necessarily seeing with that. It doesn't look like we're seeing any hook, so I don't think there's a tornado at the moment, but we are seeing a slight impact. That means that it's starting to rotate. 1.2 there, so again, that's on a scale out of 10, and it looks like that may have just kind of dropped out of there. Oh, there it is, it's back. We're tracking these two tornado warnings, just like Savannah was saying. This one goes all the way through 3:30, so of course we're going to stay on there and make sure that you have all the most up-to-date information. And then this other one that's out to the west, it's running parallel. That's going till 3:15, so we have just about 10-ish minutes, 10 to 15 minutes left on that. That's going to move up to the northeast. This one that we have that's hatched here means that we have a confirmed tornado that we've seen. A spotter that works with the National Weather Service has seen it with their own eyes, so we have it confirmed. This one that's out to the west here, we've just seen a radar indicated tornado, so that means that we see it on a radar, but someone hasn't seen it and reported it with their own eyes. So that is definitely something you want to be aware of. If you're in any of these areas, make sure that you take shelter. You want to go inside while you're under this tornado warning. This is going to move up to the northeast, so it may make it to us here in East Texas. We're going to see if it kind of drops out of there. We're not necessarily seeing a big hook on this like you would see with a tornado. You want to see it kind of curves around like that, so you get a pretty good indraft, and then it'll start to spiral. But this is going to move up to the northeast. I think it was moving about 40 to 50 miles per hour if we want to put a storm track on it, see where it's going to go.
It also looks like that storm might have just dropped part of that warning as well. So that's
awesome.
That's on that back end of it.
That's definitely something that we want to see. That means that it's going to start to die out a little bit. As it moves up towards Vala Bradas, towards St. Augustine, St. Augustine will get closer to 4 p.m. as that cell continues to move up. Again, we have seen a tornado associated with the cell out to the east in this box. Out to the west, just radar indicated, but that is moving into our area. So you want to make sure that you're staying weather aware. Review your severe weather plan, since it's been a little while since we've had severe weather here in East Texas. So if you do see a tornado, if it happens to be a warning in deep East Texas, you want to make sure that you review your safety plan, have 2 ways to receive weather information. One could be your cell phone, and one could be a NOAA weather radio. You want to make sure that they're not just both on your cell phone, because if your cell phone dies or if you can't connect to a cell tower, then you won't have the most up-to-date information. But right now, that tornado warning is just south of our area. Up to the north, we're just tracking lots of gusty winds, some hail, and some lightning. If we want to go up to the north just a little bit, we're tracking a line of storms that stretches from Mount Enterprise all the way out toward Groveton. We've seen some pretty gusty winds out of this, and some decently sized hail. Looks like we're getting some updrafts and some hail just west of Nacogdoches right now. Lots of lightning associated with this. Our hail is coming in, according to our radar, at about ½ an inch. And due to that updraft, that does make sense that we have some pretty decently sized hail. We have a 0 for that tornado impact, which is what we want to see for our area. Pretty decent wind impact. Again, these impacts are out of 10, so 6 is on the higher end. So you want to make sure that you are staying inside, especially as we have this continue to push out to the east. So Anna, can we go ahead and put this in motion so we can see how it's moving? It's moving pretty quickly out to the east is what we've seen. Nacogdoches, again, is going to get a pretty good dousing of rain. Lots of gusty winds coming through. We are under a wind advisory for all of East Texas at this point. That's going to continue all the way through tomorrow afternoon or even into the evening if it gets extended even more. Lots of gusty winds, close to 45 or even 50 miles per hour as we get through the rest of the day. So that could knock down some power lines or knock down some tree limbs, which could hit power lines. It will also really make the waves on the lakes very large, so you don't want to be outside or on the water if you have the choice. Could impact your driving, and if you have anything in your yard, that could be really blown around. If you have any yard furniture, that could be kind of knocked into your neighbor's yard. Your trash can might be down the street due to all of this heavy wind that we're seeing. Again, this is moving out to the east rather quickly. If we want to go and look over at Mansfield, and let's actually take a look at our Nacogdoches cam. It's moving pretty quickly. Oh, wow, look how quickly those clouds are moving. You see the birds are kind of getting out of here. I think that they know that there's a pretty big storm coming. They're moving rather quickly, and we're not seeing any rain on our camera right now, but Savannah, you were saying something?
Yeah, we also had some pretty heavy wind in this storm as well. We were looking at that Nacogdoches camera. You could see that the poles around it were also blowing pretty strongly as well. We were looking at some lightning a few minutes ago in that storm. I don't know if we'll catch any. It also looks like it's raining pretty heavily. If you can see out in the distance a little bit of mist in that area, it looks a little bit foggy. That's also heavy rain. You can see that starting to move into the area as well. Now, if we look at our radar, that's associated with this strong updrafts that are moving through Nacogdoches. We'll likely see some lightning. You can really see the rain starting to pick up on this camera now, even some drops on our lens here. Definitely getting a little bit foggy looking. That's all that heavy rain across SFA campus in Nacogdoches right now. So if we take a look at our Titan indicator here, I'll stop this and we'll also look at our radar now that we've been looking at the camera. It does look like it's possible that we could have some hail still, about ½ of an inch. Definitely very heavy rain there and gusty winds. Like we were saying, we were seeing some of those strong winds on our camera there. About a 6.1 out of 10, so definitely gustier winds. It is possible that we could still see some hail. Once again, we could see some falling on that camera here. I can't tell if that does look like maybe we're seeing a little bit of hail now. As well. So this storm is moving relatively quickly. So heavy rain, some hail as well, and gusty winds with this storm. You can't see those dark clouds anymore. That was that leading edge of the storm that has now moved in to Nacogdoches. So if you're in Nacogdoches, you're probably soon to experience some of this heavy rain. We'll take a closer look at our radar here. The storm right on top of Nacogdoches. Appleby, you're right on the edge of it as well. Moving towards Swift, Aiken, Woden as well, all headed towards your way. Garrison, you're also going to be right on the edge of this soon. Lawson, getting the storm. Dotson, I think you're right on the edge. You probably are in the clear. Timpson, this is going to be heading your way soon as well. So taking a look at this Nacogdoches camera once again, you can see very heavy rainfall in the area, maybe some smaller hail as well. Looks like it could be falling. Gusty winds, so if you are in the Nacogdoches area and you're not experiencing this yet, then you'll want to be indoors. It does look like our camera froze a little bit there for a second. That would be expected with these gusty winds. So we're picking it back up now, but definitely a stronger storm along this line of storms. Let's take a look back down south. It does look like this tornado warning. Sarah, do we have any updates on the tornado warning?
Yeah, we just got an update in a couple of minutes ago saying that the National Weather Service canceled the tornado warning for San Jacinto, but it is continuing the tornado warning for Polk County. It's moving pretty quickly. It's moving up to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour, and that's going to continue until around 3:30 today. Of course, we're going to stay on with you, making sure that you have the most up-to-date information. They're seeing that this is a dangerous storm, as noted by the National Weather Service. That tornado warning will continue. Right now, we do not see a tornado on the ground, again, according to the National Weather Service. We're just a severe thunderstorm, and it has produced a confirmed tornado over the past couple of minutes here since we've been on. And it looks like they the National Weather Service just expired the tornado warning for Polk, Texas. They're going to expire it in about 5 minutes. So we're going to stay on with you for that. But we're still seeing some decent rotation here. Again, this is moving up to the northeast. It was moving at about 40 miles per hour, I believe. I'm going to double check that for you. But it is moving pretty quickly, and there's a chance that it could move into deep East Texas. So we want to make sure that you are staying weather aware as that continues to move up to the east. All right, it's moving at about 50 miles per hour as that goes up to the northeast. We're tracking some decent hail with this, about an inch. That's because we have lots of updrafts that create some very wide and thick hail. Our tornado impact, according to our Titan indicators, are at about a 2 right now. This is out of 10. But the main thing that we're tracking are some gusty winds. This is at a 9 out of 10 right now. So that means we're having wind gusts in excess of 50, or even we've seen 60 miles per hour in some places. So you want to make sure that you're staying inside, because this could down several tree limbs and definitely knock out some power, or it could hit a house. You don't want to be outside and get hit by one of those tree limbs. If we look up to the north, we're seeing a pretty long line of storms. We're not seeing any rotation here in East Texas. Out toward Nacogdoches, which you saw their camera a little bit earlier, lots of updrafts. We're seeing some hail out of that. This is moving out to the northeast pretty quickly. If we want to see how big that hail is from our Titan indicator, that's about an inch is what we're seeing from radar. Lots of hail associated with this. Right now, though, that tornado impact is 0, which is what we want to see. So no rotation, but it's moving out to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So if we want to put a track on it and move out to the east, we can see when it's going to get out towards Center, toward Huxley, closer to Mansfield. Right now, though, that tornado is out to the south, or that tornado warning, excuse me, is out to the south. But this is just going to continue to move out to the northeast. And the main concern that we have right now in East Texas is hail and gusty winds. So here's our storm track. We're expecting it to get to Timpson just in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Out towards Center, closer to 3:45 or so. St. Augustine, we're expecting that maybe around 4:15, 4:10, as we continue to see that move out to the northeast. Again, that's if it continues at the rate that it's going. We were seeing it start to kind of curve out right here. If we want to zoom in to this area near Mount Enterprise, it was starting to kind of, it's called a bow, where it starts to go like this. You can see it starting to curve a little bit. That means that the winds could be slightly gustier in this region. It could be a little bit more intense as it heads out toward Timpson and closer out to Center, Tejana, Gary City, I should say. Lots of gusty winds. We're not seeing any rotation, just a little bit of a curvature of that line. If we want to go up a little bit to the north toward Carthage, we're seeing some hail up there, not quite as strong updrafts, just decently sized hail and lots of gusty winds as it heads out toward Carthage and out to the east. That hail, again, is pretty small, closer to 0.2 inches. So that's closer to maybe penny-sized, or penny-sized, I should say. And if we go out to the south, we still see that watch in effect. We're seeing that Titan indicator that we had a little bit toward our south. That's starting to come down to a yellow. It was red before, which means it's rotating quicker, but now it's starting to come down just a little bit. We still have that tornado warning in effect for areas to our south. That goes until 3:30, so about the next 15 minutes or so. Lots of hail, which we would expect with a storm like this that is capable of producing a tornado. That tornado impact is about a 2 out of 10 right now, so we're still seeing that rotation, but it's not as intense as it was before. Lots of gusty winds and hail with this. We're seeing lots of lightning as well, and that is on its way to deep East Texas. Hemp Hill, we're not seeing rotation here, but we're seeing some pretty decent lightning and gusty winds as we have this continue to move up to the northeast. If we want to put this in play just one time, we can see how quickly it moves, but lots of gusty winds. You can see that's moving in very quickly. Hemp Hill is getting a very heavy dousing of rain right now, and I suspect hail as well. That's going to continue to move back up to the northeast. If we want to put it back in the now mode, we can really see where that's moving. It's going to quickly, though, get out to Louisiana. That tornado warning and watch are still in effect to our south. We're not seeing that here in deep East Texas, but there's a chance that this tornado-capable cell is going to move in, and of course we're going to keep you updated every step of the way. It looks like those tornado warnings both go until 3:30 at the moment. We're seeing some rotation just out to our south and a little bit kind of making it just into areas near Groveton. If we want to go ahead and click on that, Our tornado impact is 1.5 out of 10, so very low, but still we are tracking that rotation. If we can go ahead and zoom in on this and then maybe put on our velocity tracker there, then we can really see if there's rotation going on with this or not. And it looks like we aren't seeing too much rotation as noted by our radar. However, this is very far away from the actual radar location, so we're not getting very high resolution data back from it. We're seeing just a little bit of rotation from our Titan indicators, but it doesn't look like there's too much rotation showing up on our radar right now. It's all very similar to the same shade of green, and you want to see green and red kind of right next to each other, and that really indicates that we're starting to see some spin. So just a little bit of rotation there. We are tracking that severe thunderstorm warning for areas in that yellow polygon. That's going to continue to move up to the northeast. It doesn't look like we're seeing any Titan indicators for updrafts or hail in this box, just that rotation just south of Groveton. But it is going to continue to move up to the northeast. Savannah, have we gotten any updates from the National Weather Service from their chat?
So the only update that I've seen is that tornado warning that was behind our Tyler County tornado warning in Polk County has now expired. So if you were in that tornado warning that had that tornado possible tag on it, if you take a look at our radar, I'll zoom in. It was just down below this one that's now in Tyler County. That has since expired. It just expired a few minutes ago. Sarah was talking about this earlier, but you're in the clear now if you're behind those tornado warnings. It does look like you could potentially get the edge of this severe thunderstorm warning, so do be prepared. You're still having some stronger pockets of rain behind that as well, but if you were in the Seven Oaks area, you might just be on the edge of that. We can zoom in. Barnes, you were in that tornado possible tag that has now expired. Ollie, you were also in that area. If you're in Chester, you're still under a tornado warning. Barnum, you were also in the clear just at the moment, but you are right in between two tornado warnings. Moscow, still in that Polk County tornado warning. Corrigan in that Polk County tornado warning. Carmona, you were right on the edge of that tornado warning as well, and Wakefield. So it looks like we just got this new Titan indicator that popped up. We'll click on that and see how the hail is looking. Looks like the storm, once again, still moving relatively quickly at about 56 miles per hour. Hail is possible. We're close to about an inch in size. And this is continuing once again to move to the northeast, like Sarah has said. If you were in that Polk County tornado warning, once again, in the Barnes area, you are now in the clear for that tornado warning, but that's not if you were in the Tyler County tornado warning that has been the extension of that first tornado warning. So we still do have two active tornado warnings, both of which are going until 3:30. So we still have those, and we're going to continue to watch those and make sure that those don't get extended. It actually looks like the National Weather Service just dropped some of that. So if you're in Chester, you are now also in the clear from that tornado warning. Rockland, you are still under that tornado warning as well. You can see lots of lightning in this area. And this tornado warning, if you're still under this tornado warning, it goes until 3:30. So there's a few of y'all still in the area of that. But it does look like the back end of that storm was weak enough for the National Weather Service to drop that tornado warning. Sarah, did you have anything else on that, maybe with the National Weather Service dropping that tornado warning?
Yes, I do. We have just gotten it in a few minutes ago. The National Weather Service has confirmed that there was a water spout near Cold Springs. That is near San Jacinto, so that's a little bit to the south. There was, like I said, a confirmed water spout, so that is not a tornado, but that is a large spin up over water, and it forms a different way than a tornado, but you still see very, very similar rotation with that. We have not gotten any more information besides what Savannah just said about that tornado warning. The tornado warning for Central Polk County is set to expire at 3:15, so it should already be gone at this point. If we want to zoom out to the south, let's see if we're still seeing that both of those warnings in place. All right, it looks like we both see, we see two tornado warnings. One, they both expire in about 10 minutes or so we're going to stay on and make sure that you have the most up-to-date information. Savannah, is there any way that we can go ahead and get our velocity on here so we can see if there's any rotation? All right, it looks like maybe here, is there any way, yeah, that we could zoom in? Maybe a little bit of rotation, but mostly that storm is just kind of trekking up to the northeast there as that continues up toward Dolan. Lots of lightning with this heading out toward Manning, Zvala, and up to the northeast. If we want to go out to the west a little bit to where we were seeing that other warning, we're not really seeing too much rotation there. Again, it's all very similar shades of green. You want to see lots of red and green next to each other. That really indicates that we're seeing that spinning motion that you need for a tornado. That's going to continue up to the northeast. We want to go ahead and back to look at our correlation coefficient, or I should say our composite image. There we go. We're not seeing a hook that you usually see. There's a little bit, it's going to try, but we're not necessarily seeing that fully formed hook that you need to see a tornado on radar. We're getting a little bit of spinning out to the east. If we want to head over there, it's east of Rockwell. That looks like it should be heading up to the northeast pretty quickly. Oh, we just got a tornado warning for Angelina, Sabine, and St. Augustine counties. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go down and see what we're watching. This is from the Shreveport National Weather Service. That's the one that has most of our East Texas counties. That it's a tornado warning for southeastern Angelina County in eastern Texas, St. Augustine County in eastern Texas, and southwestern Sabine County in East Texas. This is going to go until they issued it at 3:19. This goes until about 3:45. So we have a little over 20 minutes that are going to be in this tornado warning, at least for areas to the south. This is going to head out toward Pineland. Again, this is a tornado warning. It's going to 3:45 toward Angelina, Sabine, and St. Augustine counties. If we can go ahead and switch over to our velocity image real fast. It looks like we're going to see, we're not seeing too much rotation there. All right, we're going to be right back. We're going to go ahead and jump on to our live on air cut-in. So if you want to join us there, we'll have the most up-to-date information on this tornado. We'll see you there. East Texas, we interrupt your programming because we have a tornado warning in effect for Angelina, Sabine, and St. Augustine counties. That's for this area that's highlighted in this red polygon. Right now, we are seeing, this is from the National Weather Service, it's moving up to the northeast. We're seeing a little bit of rotation just kind of heading into our area, so we want to go ahead. I'm here with forecaster Savannah Hale. She's driving our radar right now. Well, this is moving at about 50 to 55 miles per hour up to the northeast. So if we want to go ahead and put that storm track on it, our tornado indicator is at around a 3 right now, which means this is out of 10. So there is a pretty confirmed rotation there. We haven't seen it. We don't have confirmed reports of it from our spotters, but we are starting to see that rotation. All right, it should head out toward Brookland around 350, so that's in the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. Out toward Pineland, 355, Hemp Hill, close to 307. Out toward Clare, that's closer to 420. This is going to continue to move up to the northeast. We're seeing lots of spinning out to the south. We want to go ahead and zoom in on that Titan indicator. If we can go ahead and switch over to our velocity, we're going to see really if there is a ton of rotation here. We're seeing mostly green, so it's a little bit hard to see on our radar, but this is from the National Weather Service, and they've issued this due to that tornado vortex signature that they're seeing, and that's going to continue up to the northeast again. So if we want to go ahead and put that box back on so we can see where what areas are under this tornado warning. So if you are anywhere in this red box, that let's go ahead and zoom in and see what's there toward Doland or anywhere up to the northeast. You want to make sure that you go to your safe place now. So that means going underground, making sure that you go to the most interior room in your building. Make sure that there are no windows. Go to the lowest level. Usually a bathroom or a closet is the best. Because we don't have confirmed reports of the tornado, but again, we are really seeing that rotation on our radar. That's going to continue up to the northeast, and there's a chance that it could continue to move up toward Pineland and beyond. This is a storm that we have seen that was producing a tornado just about an hour ago to areas out to the south. That was closer to just out to the south toward Endpoint, and that's going to continue up to the northeast. Again, we're seeing that rotation, and if you are anywhere in this red box, you want to make sure that you go to your safe place. I'm going to toss it over to forecaster Savannah Hale. Savannah, is there anything that's going on the National Weather Service chat? Any updates you can give us?
So I just want to follow up with what you were saying. This storm that has now been issued into deep East Texas, there's no tornado possible tag on it. There's no confirmed tornado that we have seen with this storm. This is a radar indicated storm. So that's why the National Weather Service has gone ahead and issued this tornado warning. So if we take a look at our radar here, I'll zoom in once again. We're moving with this storm from the Rockland area, this Titan indicator. This is the storm that we did see a tornado that was possible in the storm earlier that a spotter confirmed, but we haven't seen one in a while. So this is why there's no tornado possible tag on it at the moment, but this is now moving into our deep East Texas area. So the difference here in this red color that you're seeing on the map is that we do have a tornado warning that's actually out of the tornado watch zone that the National Weather Service has issued. So since these storms are moving to the northeast, they are moving out of the area that had that tornado watch most likely and now into deeper East Texas. So what we're seeing with some of these storms is some stronger lightning, heavier downpours of rain in this red area that you're seeing. I'll move up towards Hemp Hill. This is where this storm is headed. It's headed toward the Hemp Hill area. So you're not under the tornado warning just yet, but it does look like Pineland seeing some heavy lightning, Hemp Hill again seeing some heavy lightning, Sabinetown heavy lightning as well. We're also looking at a Titan indicator that has now populated on the screen. I'll take a look at this as well. Does look like this storm is starting to pick up in speed just a little bit more. So it was moving about 50 miles per hour earlier, now moving closer to 60 miles per hour. Hail closer to an inch in size, but not right at an inch in size just yet, but definitely some severe hail. So be prepared. We could have a few power outages in that area. Gusty winds, of course, that you've been seeing. We have wind impact that's relatively high today across East Texas, not even just in this area. So be careful if you're driving. If you're in this tornado warned storm in this box, I'll move back to the area that's under this tornado warning. If you're in any of these areas, we'll zoom in. If you're on Farm Road 705, Farm Road 3127, maybe if we zoom in a little bit more, the Mollywood Road area, Farm Road 3173, these are all areas that this storm is moving through. So this is headed your direction. Go ahead and find your safe place now and download our CBS19 streaming app so you can take us with you into your safest, most interior room or a closet. This storm is right on top of you if you are near County Road 34 8B or in the Forest Hopsted area. James King Road, the storm is also just on top of you. Dolan and Nancy area. This storm is making its way right through your areas too. So it's this area of dark red and orange that we're seeing. That's where this Titan indicator is. That's the strongest part of the storm. And once again, this is now continuing to move up into deeper East Texas towards Pineland as well. So Hemp Hill, this storm has not been extended. The National Weather Service has not extended this tornado warning just yet, but it's moving that direction and we are going to continue to watch this as well. So strong lightning in these areas. This tornado warning that is in Polk County, it expires at 3:30, so just 2 more minutes. Sarah, have you heard anything about that one getting extended into East Texas, or has the National Weather Service said anything about that?
The National Weather Service has not indicated if they will extend that or not, but right now we don't have any indication that they will or will not do that. But like Savannah was saying, this rotation that we're seeing out here just north of Rockland, this previously was a little bit to the south, and we did have a confirmed tornado out of this storm. So we know that it is capable of producing that cyclone. Right now it is moving up to the northeast. You can see it's going to follow that watch box, or I should say warning box, that we're seeing for areas in the red. But we want to go ahead and zoom in. Oh, actually here we have our storm track up. It'll head out to Pineland in the next several minutes. This is about 4:05, so we have about 30 minutes till it gets there. Hemp Hill, if it continues out on this path at that same speed, about 4:15, and then out all the way to the east, out toward Ferrydale around 4:30. But if we want to go ahead and zoom in on this rotation, we can see there really is a very decent hook there. It looks like we're starting to see a little bit of that curvature, so maybe a hook might start to form here pretty soon. We want to go ahead and switch over to our velocity. We can see, all right, it looks like there might be, if we can zoom in just right here where we're seeing that red, it looks like we might see a little bit of rotation there where we're seeing that spinning this direction from the red going away and then that green coming in. not very well defined, but again, this is very far away from the radar site, so we aren't getting good resolution on this atmospheric data. However, we might see a little bit of a spin there as that continues to go out. But if you're out toward Nancy, Doland, if you're out on Farm Road 338, or 38C, out toward County Road, 348B, out toward the Canyon Creek recreation area, you want to make sure that you get to your safe place now, because we are under a tornado warning for the areas that are under this red box. There we go, it's back. And that's going to stretch all the way out just south of Pineland. We have that tornado warning there. It's going to go all the way through 345. So we're going to stay on with you as long as we have that warning in place. So that looks like it'll be about 15 minutes that we have that still underway. We don't currently have a confirmed tornado from a spotter, unless, Savannah, have we seen any updates from the National Weather Service chat?
Not yet. We did have those 2 tornado warnings that were below that. So our 2 that were in Polk County and Tyler County, those have now expired. So that is good news. We only have this 1 tornado warning that we're now following. So our other 2 previous tornado warnings, you can see, have now expired. It also looks like that severe thunderstorm watch has expired as well, and the National Weather Service didn't feel a need to continue that or follow that with a tornado warning. So the good news is that we've only got this 1 tornado warning that we're following. So let's zoom in here and take a look at, once again, who is in the areas. If you are, it looks like the strongest of the storm, like Sarah was saying, is back here near the Nancy and Dolan area. If you're in that area, go ahead and find your safe place. If you know anyone in the Caney Creek recreation area, make sure that they know the storm is headed their way and that they are finding shelter as well. County Road 348B, find your safe place, as well as Bulwer Hudspeth Road, Gildery Road as well. Farm Road 3173, the storm is headed your way. Farm Road 2743, it's headed your way as well. So, like Sarah was saying, this radar right now, we're having trouble with seeing that very tight indication of a velocity with that red and green on the radar. But so that one little speck of red, I'll pull it up for you once again. We also have a Titan indicator now that shows some heavy hail possible, but I'll pull up that Titan indicator once again. This speck of red right here, this is what Sarah was talking about earlier. You can see that, but that just means that there's possibly some rotation there, and with our Shreveport radar being down, we're working with radars that are a little bit further from our area, so we want to make sure that anything we see like this, we're being extra cautious. So if you're in any of these areas that were just previously mentioned, go ahead and find your safe place until the tornado warning in these areas expires, but otherwise I'll turn these watches back on so you can see where that warning is. We'll also turn our lightning back on. You can see some heavy lightning in that area, which would indicate maybe some hail as well, which is what our Titan indicator is saying. So you can see some hail. It's just about a ½ an inch in size, so not completely impactful, but wind impact is at a 9.2. So very gusty winds in this storm. That would also indicate maybe some rotation as well, some gusty winds in that storm. So we want to make sure we're being safe if we know anyone in these areas. It looks like Dolan, you are now on the back edge of this storm, but you are still in the tornado warning. So don't come out of your safe place just yet. We want to make sure that we're being extra cautious. I think Nancy, you're probably on the back edge of the storm as well. Yes, it does look like Chambers Road. It looks like you are now on the back edge of this storm. Forest Hobson Road on the back edge of the storm as well. Farm Road 1270, you are on the back end, but you are still in the tornado warning. So like Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony always says, you want to respect the polygon. If you are in one of these areas that has been mentioned before, until Sarah Blue or I say that this tornado warning has expired, you want to make sure that you are staying in your safe place. Sarah, have you heard any updates on this storm? I see that the Titan indicator does show some hail as well, but is there any updates from the National Weather Service that you've seen?
We haven't gotten any updates from the National Weather Service quite yet on this storm, Savannah, but just like Savannah said, you want to make sure that if you are in this watch box, respect the box and go to your safe place. We are seeing that tornado impact has kind of dropped out of our radar Titan indicators. However, we still have that warning in effect. That goes until 3:45, so we have about 10 minutes left on that warning. And that's going to continue to trek up to the northeast pretty quickly. But this storm is capable of producing tornadoes. Savannah, if you want to go ahead and put this in play, you can see where that tornado was spotted out toward deeper East Texas. That was south of Rockland as we see this kind of play through. You can see it kind of spinning up just south of Rockland where that confirmed tornado was. And we have not confirmed that there is rotation, but we are seeing it on our radar. So if we want to zoom back in, so out toward Dolan, Nancy, and then as that's heading out to areas just south of Pine Lake, you want to make sure that you are in your safe place anywhere that's in this box. Again, that goes all the way through 3:45, so about 10 minutes left on that. Lots of lightning associated with this, and we are seeing some decently sized hail as that continues to move up to the northeast. I expect a lot of more hail to continue as it treks up that direction. We want to go ahead and put our tracker on. I believe it was moving at about 45 to 50 miles per hour up to the northeast. So right now that watch bar, that warning box does stop just short of Pineland. So Hemp Hill and Milan and Claire are not in that box at the moment, but there is a chance that it could be extended. Of course, we're going to keep you updated every step of the way here on CBS 19. So if it heads out toward Pineland, we expect it to get there if it moves at the same speed at around 4 p.m. today. Hemp Hill closer to maybe 4:10. Again, if it continues to move at that same speed, out toward Claire around 4:30, and then it will continue out toward Louisiana after that. It looks like we're starting to see a little bit of rotation up to the north. We're seeing our Titan indicators start to spin in green to areas south of Nacogdoches and then west of Center here. Again, we don't have a confirmed warning or watch for any of these areas. We're just starting to see a little bit of rotation. We want to go ahead and click on this yellow one right here. We can see if that tornado impact, what that is picking up on our radar. That's just to the east of Appleby right now, heading out towards Center. All right, our tornado impact is around a 2 out of 10, so it's on the low end, but there is a little bit, we're seeing that rotation there, so just stay weather aware. And then to areas south of Nacogdoches, again, we're seeing not quite as much spin there, but there is a little bit of spin. Our tornado impact is at about a 1. The big thing, though, that we're watching with this is hail and gusty winds. Out to the east, we're tracking another line of storms that's kind of heading out to the northeast. That's going to quickly get out of our area, quickly into Louisiana. But let's go ahead and zoom back into that tornado warning area. Looks like we still have some time left on this for Angelina, Sabine, and St. Augustine counties. If you are in that box, be sure that you go to your safe place. You want to go to the lowest level of the building and find the most interior room. It's very important that this doesn't have windows, because if a tornado goes through, those windows will shatter and that could create some flying debris. If you're outside, be wary because there could be some tree branches that are picked up and thrown around. Seek shelter immediately if you are in this warning box, I should say. And be sure that you have 2 ways to receive weather information. So that could be us here at CBS 19 or your weather radio app, your NOAA Weather Radio. Make sure that you are getting the most up-to-date information with this. All right, it looks like we're starting to see another Titan indicator just near Rockland right there. We want to go ahead and click on that. We're not seeing any hail with this, but there is a pretty high wind impact, about a 2 out of 10 for that tornado impact as well. And that's going to continue to kind of trek up to the northeast. If we want to put this in play, we can see how quickly that's going to start to move. Again, it's going to try to trek up this direction out toward Pineland, Hemp Hill. It's moving pretty quickly. Again, we're just starting to see that rotation there. So if we could zoom in and switch over to our velocity coefficient, we'll see if we're really starting to see that rotation that you need to see with a tornado. All right, and if we could get rid of this, there we go. All right, now we're getting a little bit, you see this purple, that's areas where we can't see because something is blocking the radar. But because this is pretty far out, it's going to be a little bit hard to see if we're having that rotation there. It looks like a little bit out to the west where we're seeing this red dot. There might be a little bit of rotation there from the green and the red that's starting to get some wind shear, which is when a wind is going one direction and the wind is going the other direction. They kind of make friction against each other. And that is the start of what you need to see some rotation for a tornado. But it looks like over here, just west of Rockland, we're not necessarily seeing that, but it could be obscured by this purple color here that's called range folding. So let's go ahead and put that warning box back on and see where toward Dolan, you guys are still under that box out toward Nancy. And then that does just kind of move out to the east. We're seeing lots of lightning there. It doesn't look like we see a very well defined tornado hook. There might be one kind of there, but it looks like it's going to start to die out just a little bit. All right, like I said, this goes to 3:45, so you have about 6 minutes left on that. If we can go ahead and put this in play, it's moving pretty quickly up to the northeast. You can see it's just kind of race by as that goes. Looks like that rotation that we were seeing on our Titan indicators have kind of started to die out, at least for areas that we're pointing to right here. Out toward Rockland, we are starting to see that rotation as indicated by our Titan indicators, but we don't have any information to say if that is a confirmed tornado or how strong that rotation really is. But again, the National Weather Service has all of the areas that are under that box under a tornado warning. So if we want to go ahead and put this back in the now mode, out toward, we were seeing toward Dolan, toward Nancy. If we can zoom back in, anywhere if you're in this box, there's a recreation area out there. If you're on Forest Hospice Road, be sure that you seek your safe place. Again, you want to go inside immediately, go to the lowest level of the building. If you have a storm shelter, that's where you want to go. If you don't, go to your basement or the lowest level and find the most interior room. So that would be a closet or a bathroom will usually work the best, but the smallest, most interior room is the one that you want to find, and you want to stay there until we see this tornado warning expire. All right, Savannah, has the National Weather Service given us any indication if they're going to continue this warning or not?
It doesn't look like it. We haven't heard anything just yet, so that could actually be a good thing. It means that we could see this expire in the next couple of minutes. This does expire at 3:45, and it looks like now it's just a couple minutes out from that, so we could see this expire once again in just a few minutes. So this little cell that's moved into the Dolan area, though, this is why we say respect the polygon and you're not completely out of the woods, although you were on the back end of that storm initially. We do have some lightning in this area, and this could also be dropping some heavy rain, so you're not completely out of there just yet. Some of these storms could have stronger cells as well, but it does look like mainly what we're looking at is this storm up here that's moving towards Pineland in this little area with lots of lightning. That's mainly what the National Weather Service was tracking with those why they issued the tornado warning. So if we take a wider look, it doesn't look like we have any indicators in that area right now, so that could be a good thing. We've got about 3 minutes until this warning expires, if so. If not, it will be extended most likely towards the Pineland area. Once again, I'll put another track on this. It looks like we were seeing this move at about 50 miles per hour earlier. I'll put it right back here where this cell is. Still moving to the northeast. I'll put it about 45 to 50 miles per hour. That's moving towards Pineland and be there at about 4:04, Hemp Hill 4:17, Milam at about 4:20, Sabinetown 4:30, and Clare at about 4:35. So this storm, even without the tornado warning, will still continue to move to the northeast. It's relatively strong and it's still moving at about 50 miles per hour, so we're going to keep watching this as well. I'll take a wider look out at what we've got going on a little bit more to the north as well. We did have some storms moving out towards Hemp Hill. This storm with a little bit of a Titan indicator in Nacogdoches with that line of storms as well. That mainly looks like that one line has started to fizzle out a little bit more. It's definitely moving towards center. We're still watching once again this tornado warning that's moved into deeper East Texas. We'll take a closer look at some of these places. The Katy Creek Recreation Area, once again, if you know anybody there, they've still got some cells moving towards them. Farm Road 3173, this storm, you're right on the edge, but you still have a second round coming in behind you. County Road 475, you're right on the edge of the storm. 304 East, you're right on in it as well. County Road 475, like I said. This area of heavy lightning is where we could be seeing some hail as well. This is the area we want to watch closely, but like I said, it doesn't look like we have any indication just yet that the National Weather Service will extend this. If so, it's going to go into the Pinewood area, Yellow Pine as well, Hemp Hill, this will be towards you. So once again, we're looking at moving towards the northeast with this storm system, but it should, if not, expire in the next minute. Sarah, do you know, have they said anything on that?
The National Weather Service has not yet indicated if they plan to expire it or to extend it. But of course, we're going to stay on with you while we still have that warning in effect. It looks like we have about 20 to 30 more seconds until that is set to expire. Again, that's for areas out toward deeper East Texas. We were tracking a cell here which had produced a tornado south of Rockland, and that's going to continue to move up to the northeast. Right now, we're tracking lots of lightning and lots of hail with it there. Right now, we haven't got enough confirmed tornado. We've just been seeing it on our radar, and it looks like that just expired. So let me double check to see. They are going to not extend the tornado warning. They will be replacing it with a severe thunderstorm warning. There it is. And that's for areas towards St. Augustine, Hamilton, and again, this is hatched so there is a possibility that this could produce a tornado. Lots of lightning is associated with it if you want to zoom into areas down to the south. And this is where we were seeing that rotation. Again, that was out to our south of Rockland, and that's going to continue to just trek up to the northeast. I'm going to go ahead and check our National Weather Service chat and see the most recent information. This severe thunderstorm warning is going to go until around 4:30. And we are going to go ahead, since it's just a severe thunderstorm warning, we're going to go ahead and put you back to programming. And if anything does pop, we'll of course come back in and update you here on CBS 19.